that K-pop industry is extremely dominating these days is crazy. And why can I say this, ladies and gentlemen? Because basically, for example, when you go to the restaurants are tend to play like K-pop songs, and also for the local radios, when you're driving, maybe you're listening to the local radios, they tend to play more K-pop songs, especially these days when something that we couldn't find years ago. So if we're talking about K-pop industry, especially for us Indonesians, since we are living in Indonesia, I'm gonna take Indonesia as the example. Since we are all Indonesians, what comes to your mind first after you heard the word K-pop or South Korea? Maybe most of you, I'm gonna take a guess. Maybe most of you would say like plastic surgeries or beauty standards, because basically, ladies and gentlemen, that is the beauty standards is the thing which is very identical with this K-pop industry. So when you hear the word K-pop industry, you would your mind will practically will immediately think about these beauty standards or plastic surgeries. Also, we can take an example from a few Indonesian celebrities. They're starting to have their plastic surgeries in order to look more like K-pop idols. You can see that on the news, like who are the people for the references for the surgeries. They would say like mostly K-pop idols, and that's basically what happened these days. The sharp jawlines, pale skin is all about beauty standards that come from this K-pop industry. And here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. These K-pop values that comes from the K-pop industry, we keep absorbing that without us even realizing it, and then it's becoming a huge problem. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring you to my two points of arguments, which I hope will strengthen the arguments which are proposed by the opening government with these two main points. The first one is the fact that people are still looking at the appearance. For example, when you meet somebody, what the first thing that you immediately comes to your mind? Maybe the way she or he looks. Is she or he good looking? Maybe when you figure out that she apparently is beautiful, you will immediately get attracted to. And that's why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, that beauty basically matters the most. We can never deny the fact that beauty basically comes before everything. And if we are talking about K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you a few examples that in South Korea there's this thing called brand reputation, which the Korean nuts tend to do monthly or even annually. They have like these 100 most handsome or beautiful faces all around the world, and you might see names like hairstyles from One Direction, but these days you will see more names like BTS members or Twice members. And why, ladies and gentlemen? Because basically K-pop industry, as I said in the beginning of my speech, is starting to dominate this world. You can never deny this fact. And speaking about beauty standards, ladies and gentlemen, if the standard that people are currently relying on, as what the opening government had said before, I truly agree to this, because basically, without us even realizing it, this is the value that most people in the world have been relying on. There's also a statement comes from the opposing team that said that there was also a few Korean idols who broke these Korean beauty standards. Yes, I'm gonna agree with you because that's a fact. But it's also the fact that those celebrities that you mentioned, that were mentioned that broke Korean standard, apparently do not still receive enough recognition. Why can I say that? Because if you see the rankings within the brand reputation, you will see that their names are still there in the low ranking, while in the top ones they're still sitting, like Irene from Red Velvet, Chewie from Twice Group. Who are these people? Basically, these women are the ones who fulfill these Korean beauty standards. So that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough to prove that that even after that you said, you might say that there are still some celebrities who do not follow these Korean beauty standards. But after all, people still tend to like more the ones who fulfill these Korean beauty standards, ladies and gentlemen. And also the fact that there are a lot of K-pop idols who got bullied just right after they first had their debut as the ones that how can they get bullied? Because basically, ladies and gentlemen, the Korean nets said that they do not fulfill these Korean beauty standards. They don't deserve to be in this K-pop industry, and that's why I'm saying once again that beauty after all matters the most, especially in the K-pop industry, which crazily affecting this world these days. And then, ladies and gentlemen, my first point will lead you to my second point of argument, which is the feminist movements are especially needed. By this, I am saying that this feminist movements needs also to move aggressively against this current K-pop industry. We cannot just stay calm in a peaceful pace, but instead of moving calmly, we need to move aggressively. And why, ladies and gentlemen? Because basically K-pop itself is aggressive. So if we keep walking in a peaceful pace instead, we're gonna be affected by K-pop industry. It's not gonna be great, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, I'm gonna say once again that we fully support feminist movement in order to oppose this K-pop industry beauty standards. Thank you.
K-pop is a popular trend and create fame. And everyone realized this. In this trend, a certain beauty standard exists. Our team believe women should feel happy about their physics and not to be compared themselves with K-pop. Everyone is unique. Many people put standard and categorize women by their appearance. Society can easily discriminate them. For example, my girlfriend needs to be physically fit, or my girlfriend needs to be pretty. Women should speak up for this, opposing this idea, but they don't have the platform to do so. Corporation put requirement, you should be pretty. We usually just need to have a good personality back then. This means K-pop trends ruins people's career, because their ideology of picturizing what's so-called attractive, inviting, entertaining, which will be implemented into their head, and most corporations thus result with standard beauty or beauty standard. The opposing team said, all this time they blame K-pop even though there are already a lot of beauty standards such as Kim Kardashian or someone, and then say why opposing doesn't matter. It's not about K-pop, it's aware of trend which happens era to era. They said trend is an era to era thing, but doesn't it what makes it really bad? It's a never-ending cycle, they said, but doesn't it mean we always need to follow the world with its beauty standard? Till when are we going to let this be? People who say, for example, shape or look different than the trend. To them, they're trying to match the beauty standard at the moment, what we know as K-pop. What will happen after we or they or them try so hard but still doesn't meet the quota or standard? This is what caused them to be insecure, hating themselves, worried that the other might judge them to the point of self-harming, suicidal, and maybe even they don't even have self-acceptance. As you might know, to be in the part of community, you need to have something similar to them, which is why I said they want to meet standard, community standard to hang out. Because K-pop making one feel insecure about their well-being from their awareness. Just because the supply and demand is heading their way doesn't mean we should just let it flow without having proper care about what they cause. Self-harming, bullying, mental health is crucial and important. We have to stop this, because how many more of these women need to suffer for not being able to match with the what so-called beauty standard? K-pop is currently becoming the trend, and has always gaining huge popularity, affecting women itself toward having no self-acceptance and very high standard. So we believe that beauty standards will always be inclusive. All women, regardless of their background, idols they are forced to pierce and perceive an image as a calm woman. Glorification causes women to actually put over high standard on beauty within the K-pop industry itself. The main achievement of K-pop industry is to buy the market, they said. Like they're showing their talent. But let's not forget that most of these idols are beautiful, having the body of, oh, I'm so thin, hourglass, and actually fulfilling the standard of beauty. Beauty standards should be inclusive, meaning for all women regardless of their background. Why? Because at this moment, most women are being used or modified in a certain industry. For example, creating a beauty products or like putting a face of woman to become a representative for a certain beauty products. Which is why this is crucial and very important. Feminist women need to take this seriously, take an action to aggressively oppose this K-pop industry because most of this time it's so hard for women to find government-friendly policy about self-acceptance, removing all the beauty standard itself. For example, there is no need for women to be at a certain standard for industry to be interested in them, be it for actor or actress, as that will lead to another picturizations of a beauty standard in certain beauty products. Sadly, the fact will always defeat the sweet lie. The opposing side said, oh, I'm Indonesian, so I need to marry an Indonesian and stop being delusional about marrying a Korean, which I like or I'm idolizing. Just from this, we can tell that the opposing side, without noticing, they have put themselves in a beauty standard, letting the world judge them, categorize them, and push beauty standard onto them. The opposing side have said these stands of us are inconsistent and they don't understand what we want or the angles we want them to see. We want to raise other cautions about the massive wave of K-pop trends that cause several damage. The opposing side has said that to give more options for beauty standard is not for us to eliminate them. But we believe that in the end, it will always end with how the industry sees women, with how they look. Like I've said, oh, Kim Kardashian, but even then, the industry sees her by her beauty standard, such as her body shape, her facial structure, and many others. I believe that should all be finished. I believe I've said enough. Thank you for listening.